Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Elizabeth D'Orazio. Our show is coming to you this week from the Jim Mitchell Park and Amphitheatre on the grounds of MainStreet BookEnds in Warner, where they have books, toys, games, cards, and a gallery of local artisans you're sure to check out. I'll be joined by owner Katherine Nevins to hear about them being one of the 115 bookstores across the country to receive a Survive to Thrive grant from the nonprofit Book Industry Charitable Foundation, helping them remain resilient and reopen successfully from COVID. Ray Martin, the president of the Warner Fall Foliage Festival, will tell us about this year's event as they emerge strong from COVID restrictions. Gail Matthews will tell us about how the Women Who Make a Difference came to be as the V&A celebrates their 50th anniversary. And we will close with an interview on the grounds of the New London Historical Society, where they will be staging a Civil War living history event on Sunday, July 18th. That's all this week on our edition of Yankee Chronicle. Stay tuned.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. With more frequent major weather events, don't say again, I should have installed a generator. H.R. Clough provides the best home generator systems available from Generac. Our highly trained personnel provide you a complete turnkey installation. For a free estimate, call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
There's a big difference between a big box store and a LaValle Middleton building supply.
When you're a local store, you need to compete with the bigger chains. So we've combined our purchasing power with over 300 independent lumberyard and home centers, and we've passed those savings on to you.
Our customers have grown up with our stores, and now their kids are shopping here with our kids.
We have everything you need for any home improvement project you can think of.
And the possibilities are endless.
If we had a motto, it would be neighbors helping neighbors build a community.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. Now is the time to have a highly trained H.R. Clough technician perform an annual maintenance and inspection of your gas or oil system to help you avoid a failure in the dead of winter. Call now to set up an appointment. Call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Welcome to Warner, New Hampshire. I'm your host, Elizabeth D'Orazio, joining you from MainStreet BookEnds, the historic and famous bookseller right here in the center of town. And I'm joined by Katherine Nevins, bookseller extraordinaire, and so much more to the community. She's going to tell us how they survived COVID and some exciting news about going ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Come and talk to you.
So one of the things is COVID really put a lot of stress on booksellers and small businesses. Tell us how you sort of survived.
Okay, so it's officially 16 months that we had the building closed to the public. Mm-hmm. We closed on March 17th, and then we were able to reopen on June 15th to the public. So 16 months that we went with no one being able to come in. And what we discovered was that the community just rallied. Mm-hmm. They really made an effort to go online and order things online. We had huge shipping orders and book groups. At one point we had 75 people in a book group that we were shipping things out to. So, there was just so much support that we felt to keep this business alive. I was frankly terrified mid-March and into April, because I had to be so focused on this surviving. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we got through, and a wonderful thing happened. We got notification about a week ago that an organization called BINC, which stands for Book Industry Charitable Foundation, mm-hmm. And they are part of the American Booksellers Association, and they are an organization that has come forward to help booksellers over a long period of time. We were one of 115 bookstores that were recognized throughout the country with a grant to help us reopen. Yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, to be recognized by that group, and then also to be able to receive a grant to help us reopen and get ready for people to come back to this kind of independent bookstore again. huge support, and I can't thank them. I honestly cannot thank this community enough. We had families. Am I safe to say that you might be one of those families?
Yes, I was. I did drive up constantly.
We had so many families that supported us. We started off with curbside, and then as the weather got really nasty, we moved to a takeout window. And so many people would come and do their orders and their buying through that window. So anyway, we are over that. We're past that. The store is now open again. It forced me to clean and reorganize, which after 23 years was really, really helpful. Something you never do with your home, but you managed to do with your business. So thank you. We're just very excited to be reopened again.
So if you understand what Catherine's talking about, one of the things she did was she set up a tent outside, and you could say, look, I'm looking for a book on whatever, and she would bring out tons of books to the table, or you would go to the takeout window, so to speak, and she would bring out samples. Or there were times when I was like, I needed a toy for someone, and she would start bringing out toys and puzzles for me to look at. And I'm telling you, this really shows you that an independent bookseller, so much more than a bookseller, like Katherine, really sees her calling as a gift to the community. She really sees it as purveying wonderful books to the communities and families of this area. And I'm encouraging anyone, if you aren't a FOMB yet, Friends of Main Street BookEnds, now's a great time to join because you get your discount year-round. And also, people are looking at possibly homeschooling this year. I know we get a lot of our resources through you because she's also a homeschooling maven. She knows all kinds of curriculum and thing you can look at. But I would encourage anyone who hasn't had a chance to possibly experience the store because of this past year, come in. Can you tell us maybe some things that people are interested right now in the store, like what's really getting people's attention?
Well, what's really nice is that finally the gallery, which is attached to the bookstore, it's in this barn section right here. The gallery is our local artists.
It's wonderful.
For 16 months they have had no exposure to the public. So now the gallery is reopened with all of these works from wonderful, wonderful local artists. And people are very excited to be down in there and see all that. There's also, we did some major moving around of bookcases, and we created the front room, which had been very tight and very crowded, has now been opened up, so it's more like a sitting room up there.
Oh, nice.
And nice views of Main Street and nice views of the children's park and so forth. So, and you know, when you walk in the door now, you get hit with the bestsellers, which are a wonderful carpenter here in town, Robert Shoemaker, who has gotten us through everything for the past, 30 years. Built some new bookcases, so when you come in, you experience, the bestsellers, and we've opened things up and made things a little bit more open and clean, and so it's a different feeling.
And I don't know how you're going to prove on a good thing, because I honestly have always loved the store. So I'd like to thank Katherine for coming by, and also thank her for being an instrumental member of the Main Street Warner Inc. project and getting things together for the pantry and for the building that they're purchasing now to help people with food insecurity in the area. So if you're in the area and you need to buy a book, make sure you check out Main Street BookEnds. And maybe you're just passing through, make sure you stop by and see what's new on her bookshelf today. When we come back, we'll be joined by Ray Martin as he tells us about the plans for the 2021 Warner Fall Foliage Festival. Don't miss it.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. Now is the time to protect yourself from the potential rising costs of fuel. The H.R. Clough Smart Pay Plan offers you the very best price. Call and talk to one of the expert staff about the right plan for you and your home. Call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Warner's Main Street BookEnds has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. Joining us next, Ray Martin will tell us about the plans for the 2021 Warner Fall Foliage Festival.
The history of the festival for the 74 years, has been to fund community organizations and things. So last year we dedicated all the profits that we could make through this very limited festival. Nothing on site, nothing here. We ended up raising about $10,000 and netted, and we ended up taking $5,000 extra from our reserves, and we funded the food pantry and the fuel assistance program right here in Warner. So that was very well received, and but the one thing is, you know, we wanted to keep the festival alive last year and keep it in people's minds that there is a thing. So when we did get started back up, that we wouldn't be looking back 2 or 3 years. We're planning on having a festival with one exception. We might not have the parade that is a part of Sunday's activities, but have as many of the activities as we can get people to come, because the crafters are all interested in coming because they've been shut down for a year. And so the crafters are here, the people want to get out. We should have rides for the kids and younger generation. We will hopefully have an oxen pull and maybe a woodsman's contest. And so it will be the traditional festival that everybody's used to for the last 73, well, this is our 74th year this year. And it'll be what they're used to seeing and experiencing. And hopefully keep the experience going for another 75 years. This is, again, a total volunteer organization. We have a board of 8 members this time, and we want to keep that interest going. We don't want to lose that interest. And they put on the festival, and that's where we stand. Our expectations is that we'll have a good festival, a well-attended festival. We have no way of limiting the crowd because we don't have a fenced-in area. We don't have gates. We don't sell tickets. We just sell parking tickets. But so it would be very difficult if any kind of limits are reinstated as to the size of gatherings. So we'll see. Last year we had a drop dead date of August 1st that we would go up until and make a final decision. And that's when last year we went to what we called the virtual festival. But this year hopefully we can continue through. Because our sponsors and our supporters are there to help and there to put something on. And it will be, hopefully we'll be back in business again. But we still need probably, 100 volunteers that help run everything from parking to information to events. And the one thing that we probably will be scaling back a little bit is the music part, which goes on in the Jim Mitchell Park here in Warner, behind Warner BookEnds. The Main Street Warner puts on, and we'll have some events there, but it might not be as, there probably won't be a big headliner at this time, because that, again, is that stage down there at Warner, Main Street BookEnds in the back is run by Main Street Warner, and we have to acquiesce to their wishes, which they've been a great supporter, and we want to support it they'll help support us in any way they can. So we still need volunteers, advertising, whatever. But the community usually comes together pretty good, and we can very well, and we hope to proceed to this year, which is Columbus Day weekend, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Get on the website, updates. Again, we as a large gathering, without a way of curtailing or limiting attendance, we will be, we'll have to adhere to the guidelines that come out of either the state, particularly the state or CDC.
When we come back, Gail Matthews will tell us what she's been working on with the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice History Project.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. H.R. Clough installs water conditioning systems to purify your water and add life to your hot water heating system. Now is the perfect time for one of our expert staff to evaluate your needs. For a free estimate, call H.R. Clough today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
There's a big difference between a big box store and a LaValle Middleton building supply.
When you're a local store, you need to compete with the bigger chains. So we've combined our purchasing power with over 300 independent lumberyard and home centers, and we've passed those savings on to you.
Our customers have grown up with our stores, and now their kids are shopping here with our kids.
We have everything you need for any home improvement project you can think of.
And the possibilities are endless.
If we had a motto, it would be neighbors helping neighbors build a community.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. Now is the time to have a highly trained H.R. Clough technician perform an annual maintenance and inspection of your gas or oil system to help you avoid a failure in the dead of winter. Call now to set up an appointment. Call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Women Who Make a Difference was inspired by the Boston program, which honors a woman and has a guest speaker. And a friend of mine in West Hartford, Connecticut, asked me if I'd join her because her sister-in-law was being honored for the work she did for the Jocelyn Diabetic Clinic for young people. And, the speaker was Doris Kearns Goodwin, and it was very, very fascinating. Enjoyed it, and coming back on 89, which is where I do most of my thinking, about exit 9, I said, my gosh, we have the most exciting and wonderful and hard-working women in our area. And the reason I knew this, more than just seeing them at work, Stephanie and myself had the Kearsarge Valley magazine on TV, and we were interviewing the fabulous people in this area that make it such a great place to live, work, and play. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to the Lake Sunapee VNA and see if they want to do a fundraiser and honor women in the area. And Andy Steele was the head of the visiting nurses, and I think they had a few towns that they were serving. Now there were 32 towns. And Andy loved the idea. We did the first event, 75 people, because that's all the room would hold, up at Grantham. And we had 3 speakers that were Deb Perkins, who knew the history of this area. She spoke about the women in her life that made a difference. And Deirdre Shear, who's the architect who did the gazebo and lots of other architecture around the area. And she spoke about the professional woman. And then Dee Ganley, who is an expert dog trainer, handled the animal end of what women do. People went out with the balloons in their hands, and they were walking to go to their cars, and they were putting arms around each other's shoulders and with this big smile on the face, and we just knew that we were on to the right track. We had a mission, we were doing a goal, and we were honoring phenomenal women. And the first year we honored Jan Saylor, who worked with children, and she was a perfect first recipient. So from there, it grew. We stayed in Grantham, and then we outgrew it because we would have a waiting list. So we had to find a bigger place, and luckily, Colby Sawyer has a room that seats 200 people, and sometimes we go up to 225. We still have a waiting list. We have a wonderful time there, and the balloons have continued. New things have happened, like Spring Ledge brings in these flowers for the stage. It's just grown, and I think the success that we felt is because younger people have been attracted to the event. And any kind of group, whether it's volunteer, an organization, or a board, you need young people with their vitality, their energy, their ideas, and just their colorful nature. And we have young people attracted to going to the event, and we have young people on the committee, which makes it fun.
Thank you, Gail. Coming up next, the New London Historical Society takes us back in time.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. Now is the time to protect yourself from the potential rising costs of fuel. The H.R. Clough Smart Pay Plan offers you the very best price. Call and talk to one of the expert staff about the right plan for you and your home. Call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Warner's MainStreet BookEnds has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. BookEnds is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. BookEnds has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street BookEnds of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
And now we'll go speak with Bill and Andrea of the New London Historical Society about a Civil War era project coming up that we can witness for ourselves.
Well, last year was at the Historical Society here in New London was sort of the year that never existed. We had to cancel all of our public events. The village was open for tours on a very limited basis, but for all intents and purposes, we were completely canceled. So this summer, we're coming back. We're coming roaring back with our first event, which will be the Civil War Living History demonstration on July 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And of course, we're going to continue to follow all state and local COVID-19 guidelines. So at this point, it's if you're fully vaccinated, since the event is largely outdoors, you will not need to wear a mask, but we are asking people to continue social distancing. So I'm here with my partner in crime for the Civil War event, Bill Minsinger. He's a New London resident and also a Civil War demonstrator. Bill, can you tell us about what we're going to see and learn on July 18th?
Yes, so we had actually talked about doing this last year, but got canceled. So this year we have made it a little bit bigger event, actually, and both the 3rd Vermont as well as the 5th New Hampshire will participate, both as artillery as well as infantry, and there'll be a full demonstration of how the Union soldier lived and fought during the Civil War. We'll open the event with cannon firing at 10:15. And that cannon firing will be done with an original Civil War cannon, number 229. This cannon was produced with the 233 and probably was in action in the Gettysburg campaign somewhere. And we'll finish up with cannon fire at 3:30. But at 11:15 and 2:15, we'll have infantry drill. And during that period of time, again, the 5th New Hampshire will be featured in that event. And the manual of arms as well as marching will be demonstrated, so you'll get a good idea of what the Union soldiers did in battle. And then during the day, the rest of the day, the camp will be open. So you'll see how, again, the Union soldier lived. And at noontime, period rations will be issued to each soldier, and they'll cook their rations at noon. So you'll get an understanding of what they ate as well.
So with the infantry drill, will there be any audience participation for kids maybe?
Yes, so at the end of each drill, we anticipate that we'll issue wooden muskets to some of the younger folks who might want to fall in with us. And we'll be embarrassed if by the end of the drill they're doing it better than we are. But indeed, that always is a favorite aspect of one of these events.
Bill, what is the history of the 3rd Vermont Hemlocks?
So the modern day 3rd Vermont Hemlocks were actually created during the 100th anniversary of the Civil War. So the organization has been in existence since 1963. Now the 5th New Hampshire was raised and conquered by Edward Cross and was known as the Fighting Fifth. And they fought with this Hancock's 2nd Corps and saw very heavy action, particularly at Gettysburg.
And sticking with the theme of battles, Bill, why don't you use the term reenactment to describe this event?
But we aren't firing at graycoats, so there'll be no graycoats here. This is Northern Territory. No graycoats at this battle, and there won't be a battle reenactment per se.
Bill, thank you so much for joining us here today, and I'm so looking forward to the event on July 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the New London Historical Society, which is located at 179 Little Sunapee Road in New London. And the event costs $15 per car. That's a suggested donation, and $10 for members. There's lots of parking, and the transportation building will be open. The village will be mostly open, so you can also see these great 19th century period buildings. And coming up this summer and fall at the Historical Society, we're so happy to be back with an antique show on July 31st, that's a Saturday, from 9 to 3. And then on August 15th, we have our annual meeting, and the public is welcome to join us. Speaking that day will be at 4 o'clock will be John Hodgson, local author from Andover, and he will present on the topic, of course, of Richard Potter. Then on September 12th, that's a Sunday, we have our Living History Day, which in the past has included things like cider making and hearthside cooking. We've had rug hooking and wool spinning. We'll have stories and games for children, as well as bartering for candy at the country store here. And docent tours will be available. And finally, we'll cap off the year with our holiday open house, which will be the weekend after Thanksgiving. Dates to be decided, so stay tuned for that. And that will have children's arts and crafts, Christmas cookies, caroling, and a silent auction. And we hope you'll come join us for all of these great events.
Thank you, Bill and Andrea. Sounds like a great way to experience history firsthand. Join me again next week from the Jim Mitchell Park and Amphitheatre on the grounds of MainStreet BookEnds in Warner, where they are open again for store services and for perusing the aisles. Miriam Carter of the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen will tell us about this year's upcoming event, where they return to Mount Sunapee. That's presented by North Cape Design Build. Amy Halbitz will tell us about her family connections as the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice celebrates their 50th anniversary. And Scott Reed, the owner of the Pleasant Lake Inn and New London Inn, joins Ashley Rowley, the Chamber President, to hear about their going forward improvements. Don't miss our Game of the Week second season with great replays from the past. This week we'll show the 2018 football matchup between U32 and Spalding. All our games play on WYCX at 12 noon and 5 p.m. on Sunday and Monday on TDS TV 13 and 1013. And our live football schedule is in place with 12 games coming to you this fall. If you would like to sponsor the show, please contact us at ycnnow.com. We'd love to hear from you. Till then, I'm your host, Elizabeth D'Orazio. Take time to enjoy your local view.